Welcome, race fans, to Primetime Racing TV's coverage of the Vintage Racing Group, live here from Daytona International Speedway. My name is Brandon Kreutz, and I will be the only commentator in the booth tonight, so I will try to make it as interesting as I can for you guys. These guys just getting into qualifying now, and should be a good race tonight, that is for sure. Tonight's coverage of Daytona 250 here on Primetime Racing TV. So these guys get ready to put down some laps here. It will be interesting for sure. Let's go ahead and take a look here at some of the times starting to roll in. Times will roll in live. So as you guys are watching that, I will step away for just one moment. So we come back, and as we look at some of these times, a lot of quick times here. Joshua Witherspoon up on top so far, running 190 miles an hour with a 46.780. Times here fairly close so far. I have a feeling that these qualifying laps will start to wind down here. Season opener for the Vintage Racing Group here at Daytona International Speedway. These guys get ready to grid here. You saw the top 10 or the top 10 grid spots there for qualifying. I'm sorry guys, my grid still doesn't work. Trying to figure that out for you guys. Work in progress. So I do apologize. That is really the only thing wrong with that I'm having with these overlays so far. So I do apologize for that. See some of the drivers in the field tonight. Number 28, Joshua Witherspoon, is on pole. 43, outside pole next to him. That would be Chris Shaw is in that 43 car on the outside pole. Lots of fast times here tonight, folks. Lots of fast times. Waiting for these guys to roll off. Also, folks, I do apologize if there are any quiet moments in the booth tonight. I'm sitting here 100 laps by myself. My co-commentator was unable to make it tonight, unfortunately. But it does happen. I'll try to pull some guys up here, do some interviews during their caution flags. And ready to get this thing underway right now. The season opener from Daytona. As these guys grid, I am going to pull up this overlay real quick and refresh everyone's paint schemes. Make sure I have everyone's sponsors up to date on here. Don't want anyone getting left out. So I'm going to wait for all these very nice looking paint schemes actually to load in here. And waiting for about one more. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Some guys came in late, did not have time to refresh their paint schemes, and I believe I have everyone up to date now. So now looking to take the green flag here. Joshua Witherspoon, the number 28, going to be starting us to the green. Season 1, Race 1 in the Vintage Racing Group. Full coverage every race live on Prime Time Racing. You can catch all the action this season for this series. Busch Series will be on Non-Stop Racing TV. Their season opener was last night. You can go check out the full broadcast on Non-Stop Racing TV. Pace car making the hard left turn into pit road. And green flag is in the air. The 88 pulled down pit road, it looked like, right at the start of this thing. Possible issues for him off the grid. 43 has the outside advantage. Can he clear Witherspoon coming down? He has the opportunity to pull down. Witherspoon now pulling upside the 43 car. Side by side. 3 rows back. Coming down the back straightaway. 28. Line of cars down there on the bottom line. The outside line gets left out to dry with only 2 vehicles. 43 will lead the first lap of the first season of the Vintage Racing Group. Now coming into turns 1 and 2, some guys dancing around up here, moves to the outside. 33 moves up to the outside. 24 does not follow and tries to catch the draft. 33 out of luck, nowhere to go, no one help him. These guys now getting single file back here. As we move a little bit further back in the pack, see some of these drivers back here. Not too much action all the way around this speedway. I believe there was a couple guys that may have lost the draft already. A little bit of side by side here from a couple of the back runners. Anyone can win here at Daytona. Possible strategy from these guys awaiting a possible wreck. . believe the 06 and a couple other guys lost the draft. Possible strategy being played by these guys. Back there. As we move further up towards the front, you kind of got some scattered race cars out here throughout the pack. Not really any true packs formed, but these guys are all single file. Not too hard to catch back up to one another, I believe, at the moment. It's kind of all spread out, patiently waiting. 100 laps to go. We're just under 100 laps to go. It's still in this race, so a lot of time left here. As we see the 43 and the 28 kind of gathered up a little bit of lead over third place at the 24, Ryan Hatherhill. 33 trying to lock up to the rear bumper of the 24, see if they can push themselves up there, and don't want to lose those guys up there. See 17 and the 07 trying to work their way up, back up to the rear of the 03 car. So really not too much action out on the racetrack right now. Pretty tame, as expected. Not a lot of racing. I think these guys just riding as the 24 car pulls out of line up there. And ducks back in, maybe checking his temperatures. Very, very important to keep your car cool up here. For sure. Now coming up on your leaders. These guys did catch your leaders. 24 car making a move to the outside, hoping the 33 to follow. And the 33 does follow on the outside. Your leaders have a little bit of a challenge. The question is, where will the 03 go? When or if he catches them, he will catch these guys. Where will he go? Will he go to the top or the bottom? I don't think that'll be the deciding factor on if this is where your next lead change will be. So these guys trying to get side by side by side. That'll help a couple of the other groups in the back catch up if they stay single file. 24, little bit squirrely, ducked below the double yellow there. Just for a second, passing not allowed below the double yellow line in Vintage Racing Group rules is in their rule book. 33 goes way high through that corner. Now ducks back in into the draft here. Watching these guys up here, seeing if they can get anything done on the outside. Not looking likely. And once again, 24 and the 33 getting hung out to dry. Now 24 trying to squeeze his way in there so he doesn't lose the draft. 33 clipped the apron. Little bit sketchy there. These guys working their way down the backstretch now. 28 and the 43 taking their time, doing what they got to do to stay up front and out of the carnage. Possibly, we know that there will be pit stops coming up very soon. 50% fuel load in these races, running half the distance of the real world races as of 2001. Running full 2001 Winston Cup Series schedule here, as the name was created, Vintage Racing Group. So these guys just trying to ride right now, it seems. Couple of guys trying to make that outside line work. 4-car breakaway up front. These guys got a pretty good cushion. Personally, if I was them, I would just try to ride single file, ride out, because you know you got pit stops coming up soon. You still got 90 laps left of this race, just over 90 laps left of this race. Not really worth fighting for anything at this point, in my opinion. But, that's just me. So, working further back here, see that the 33 car fell quite a ways back from that lead pack. Probably lost the draft, wasn't able to tuck back in on time, and now we ended up all the way back there. Little bit of bob and weave coming from a couple of these guys below the double yellow, probably trying to see around the car in front of them. It is quite hard to see around these guys when you got a face full of a spoiler in your windshield. So these guys, a lot of these guys just riding, not much going on right now. Go back to some of these guys back here. There's quite a few guys riding out just outside the draft back here. And that's probably all a strategy game being played by all of these guys back here. Try to stay out of any wrecks that are going on. You know, but everything up front seems really tame right now. So probably not too much to worry about up here. 43 to 28, still riding. Looks like the second pack is able to catch up to these guys a little bit. So you can see it coming down the back straight. So yeah, these guys just riding right now is a 03. Got a little bit loose there, it looked like, getting a tap from the 24. The rear bumper. These bumpers don't line up. Not meant for bump drafting. As looked like 33 back there was blinking a little bit. For those who don't know, maybe new to iRacing, blinking is a connection error between those guys with their internet and the iRacing race servers. So essentially some sort of, well, in real life would be a mechanical failure if you ended up dropping out of the server because of a connection issue. So a little bit of swap between the 24 and the 03 up front here. All of these guys still single file, waiting out these pit stops, these first round of pit stops here. Some serious strategy could be played during green flag pit stops, whether it be 4 tires, 2 tires, or no tires and fuel only. All up to these guys. So it's a little bit unknown when these guys are going to come in, as the 24 car blows an engine. Wow. It didn't look like he was riding on anyone too hard, but he is coming to a stop here, and he will be done for the night. Unfortunate news for that 24 car up there fighting with the leaders. Very odd. Maybe he had too much tape on that car. Was getting a lot of suck up to the cars in front of him, so that could have been the case. I don't know. Very interesting. Very interesting how he blew up. Very good job by everyone from avoiding him. That did allow the second pack to start catching these guys, however. 17 leading the second pack here. James Coulibaly in the 17 car. So leading this 3-car pack right now. They're trying to catch these guys up in the first pack. And we got some guys coming to pit road, starting with the 03. These guys making their way down pit road. Be interesting to see what some of these calls are. I believe it is 60 miles an hour down this pit road. Can feel very slow sometimes compared to the 200 miles an hour that should usually be running here. So it looks like maybe some 2-tire stops, some 4 tires. We got one off into the grass back there. I believe that was Eric Revere. I don't know if there will be a penalty handed to him for that or not. Very odd. So going back up here to your leaders. 43 in the 28. 17 of Koulibaly shortly behind. Yeah, Shaw and Witherspoon up. Possibly pitting this time. Hard to say with some of these strategy calls. I imagine they have to go in very shortly with 50% fuel load. And they are passing pit road. 17 of Koulibaly. And that group has to come in as well. So now as we look back a little bit further in the pack, 15 and 16 running together. Yeah, nice 4-car pack right here. '70 car all by himself out there. And your leaders now coming to pit road minus the 28. 28 car all by himself. That is not what you want here at Daytona, is to be without the draft. I imagine that Witherspoon will be pitting in this time around here on lap 20. Maybe poor communication between him and the group, or I don't know. That car coming in now, 33 going around him. I believe Shaw is still in second place after those pit stops, but I'm not completely sure. Yeah, so Shaw is your current leader right now. Hooking up with a lap car, or trying to get the draft off of a lap car at the moment, it seems. As we see Witherspoon coming out of pit road now. I believe the 16 might actually be the current leader. Yeah, it is showing Chris Shaw back around 4th place now. So the 16 car, oh, had a bit of a blinking moment there. The 16 car, oh, Witherspoon actually is walking away your leader. Scoring a bit confusing right now during green flag stops. Witherspoon is left out to dry, though. Guaranteed that the 16 car, or almost guaranteed that the 16 car will pass him for the race lead. He's all by himself right now. And these guys about to eat him alive right now. So 16 passes. Witherspoon catches on to the draft, but the 16 car will become your leader. 16 of Prot does become your leader now, with the help of some not quite lap down cars, but they're pretty darn close. 88 was one of them that pulled off at the beginning. A little bit of squirreliness from those lap cars. Very odd maneuver there. Let's go further back in the field now. 03. Tyler Barnes back here. Let's see if let's check in with the 43, see where he is. He's teamed up with a couple of guys back here. The 33 is right on his bumper, and he's got some fast cars behind him still, so don't count him out. If we get a caution, that'll definitely work out well for some of these guys. Everyone is very spread out right now. Didn't even really have the opportunity to get side by side, all as a pack. So these guys just making what they can out of it right now, hoping to survive. I'd say around the 3/4 mark of this race. Whoa! As the 33 ducks way below the double yellow, possibly caught that apron back there. I want to take a look at that real quick. Yep, I believe that is exactly what happened. Caught that apron. Beautiful save by that 33 car. Oh, sorry about that, folks. Also, folks, I do apologize if there's a bit of a stuttering. There's a big storm that just passed through here, so that would be the issue, or the main cause of that for the stream. So I do apologize. Not much I can really do about that tonight. So it looks like the 88 possibly got dropped out of that main group. 7 blinking a little bit. This line of cars caught these leaders pretty quickly here. 16 in the 28 now have a little bit of company. Chris Shaw trying to maneuver his way up there. Things might start to get exciting up here if these guys can get side by side. Shaw needs the help of this 33 to make this outside line work, though. And it can't just be the two of them. They have to have more cars up there. There has to be more guys that try to go up there. A lot of these guys don't want to take a chance of running in a big pack that are 2 and 3 wide because they want to live to see the end of this race. So the outside not quite working, but it hasn't failed quite yet. They're holding their ground pretty well up there. And now they're gonna probably be forced to drop down. 33 has the chance, hasn't quite dropped down yet. And there he goes. Drops down below the number 43. Almost made contact with him in the door. 43 has the opportunity to drop down now. And he takes it right behind the 33. 33 jumps back out now, hoping that some guys will go with him. Not looking likely. He drops back into place in line there. Lucky that position was still available. So these guys still riding single file. Cannot. A couple of these guys want to get up and go on the outside. 33 looking a little bit anxious to get up and go out there. But he's got to find the right time to get that run, and he's got to find some guys to help him out. So we see a slower car up on the high side there. Those guys that were trying to play the strategy out of sit back and wait for the wreck, possibly maybe starting to get a little bit worried now. We have a small pack down here. 125 of Zach Mecca seems to be blinking just a little bit. Some of these guys back here that hung back. Eric Revere all alone. He was part of that pack just a little while ago. But they might be starting to get a little bit worried now. Strategy not quite going to plan right now, it seems. These guys starting to gather too wide behind him. Maybe he can get the outside line working. Who knows? They're starting to get separated a little bit again, which is really odd to me, the way that the draft normally is. These guys would normally be able to stick together pretty well, but it's always been like a 4-car breakaway up towards the front. I don't know. I've never really seen too much of that. It's just a little bit odd to me. So, 4-car breakaway comes to an end as these guys are starting to catch them. Now, whether someone makes the move to the outside or not, it's in the hands of these drivers. But it takes a lot of discipline to stay single file like that from these guys. And you know, somewhere in the back of their head, they're thinking that they want to pull out, but they don't know if they'll have anyone follow them. They could drop all the way to the end of this pack. That also brings the risk of, for the guys up front anyways, of getting caught up in any wrecks that may or may not happen. So these guys are just working down laps right now. We're on lap 34 of 100. And these guys just riding right now. I know the 28's been perfectly fine sitting behind someone. 16 obviously is pretty good out front right now. 28 pushes a little bit high there up the double yellow line. Getting a little bit messy behind these guys though. Now looking at it, these guys are starting to gather too wide, or they were. Looks like things have settled back down just a little bit. These guys are going to have to think about starting to come down pit road again here very shortly. Most of these guys last pitted on lap 18. So now on lap 36, just 10 laps over the quarter mark of this race. these guys still probably more worried about fuel and pit stops. Probably looking at a 3-stop race depending on how the yellows play out. These guys definitely going to try to push 3 stops anyways. Well, no, I take that back. Actually, probably more like 4. They're going to try to push 4-stop race. 3-stop race, mathematically with the fuel, impossible. I could see some of these guys trying to push 4 stops, saving fuel as much as they can. In the draft here, the way they've got the draft now, will be a lot easier to save fuel and try to get to the end on this thing on 4 stops. So these guys working their way up around the lap car. That is the 76 car, Cole Borgstadt. See the rookie stripes on that 76, or the yellow stripes. Part-time driver in this series. Races full-time in the Busch Series. Again, you can catch all the racing action for the Busch Series on Non-Stop Racing TV, partner channel for primetime racing. As some guys start to come down pit road. A couple of these guys starting to make their way down pit road at least. These guys will probably end up getting all separated again. I'm sure a lot of these guys hoping for a yellow to happen right now. Or after this round of green flag stops, so everyone can get gathered back up into the pack. Now 16 and the 43 come in, and again the 28 car gets left out to dry. Didn't backfire completely on him last time he did that. He still ended up front. But the question is, will it happen again? Will that same thing play out again as these guys came in together with positions? So these guys pitting on lap 40. This may end up becoming a five-stop race looking at it now. Depends how many or if we even get any yellow flag laps. So 16 coming off pit road now. Will he be able to maintain this lead? Looking pretty good right now. But when will the 28 of Witherspoon come to pit road? I believe, as I said that, he may or may not have made his stop already. Yeah, I believe, yep, he is coming off of pit road. Did make his stop. And he is again all alone out there with a fast pit stop. 10 seconds and decreasing a little bit on these guys as he's trying to get up to speed. By the time he gets up to speed, he'll probably have 5 seconds on these guys. And that won't last very long with those guys working in the draft. See a couple of lap down cars coming up behind him and not willing to help. Going around hoping to get the lap back. Taking advantage that the leader is all alone up there. That is probably the safest bet for those lap down cars as well. In case the yellow were to come out, they wouldn't have to worry about the lucky dog. I can't read the number on that car back there, but the 02 of Eric Revere, excuse me, right now I believe on the lead lap. I'm not quite sure, but I believe he may be on the lead lap. So let's go ahead and look at our top 5 right now. So that way everyone has a slight idea where everyone is. So your top 5 right now is Witherspoon, the 28 of Witherspoon, 16 of Prott, the 43 of Shaw, the 07 of Johnson, and the 17 of Koulibaly. That is your top 5 right now. So interesting race so far. Not a lot of action out on track, but some serious pit strategy being played. Witherspoon able to work with a couple of slower cars right now, or a couple of lap cars right now, to try to maintain this lead that he has. So far, seems to be working a little bit. And it really depends. Oh, caution flag is out. And I'm not sure where on the track that was. So these guys gotta get slowed down here. And it looks like the 48 car has a ton of damage. So let's see if we can find out what happened here. Oh, David Darrell makes contact with 48. Let's go ahead and take a ride with the 03. See if I can get up to him here. I'm very interested to see exactly what happened here. Contact made. Oh. Hard contact made there. Wow. So these guys working on getting caught up with the pace car. Witherspoon, still your leader. Just a slight wreck there. 48 coming across the nose of the 6. So Witherspoon coming on pit road. Little bit of strategy being played here. The 16, 15 staying out. They are staying out. So taking a look at your race summary so far. 46 laps complete, or yeah, 46 laps complete out of 100. 4 lead changes, and now 1 yellow flag. Current leader is Matt Pratt. So Mac Pratt in the lead. Behind him, Timothy Pratt. Most likely a relation between those two drivers. Still getting to know a lot of these drivers in this league. So, Joshua Witherspoon, all the way back there. Now, just coming to the halfway point of this race, we will take the green. Probably just coming to the halfway point. Some of these guys pit now. Should be an interesting restart. You know, these guys know it's starting to get closer to the point where they want to be up front. They made it through the first half of this race. And now they gotta find some way to get up there and fight with his leaders. So this is the part where it may start to get exciting. So coming to the halfway point. Had your halfway race summary. The Daytona 250 presented by Vintage Racing Group live on Primetime Racing TV here. So, circling under yellow flag here. To talk about right now, the 28 has a little bit more fuel than all these guys now. Still gonna have to make probably about 3 more pit stops out of this race if it stays green. But I think there may be a lot of saving going on between a lot of these guys in the draft. And let me tell you, ZO2 takes a lucky dog. Saving fuel at Daytona is not easy. To the aspect, there's a lot of, you could half throttle it or quarter throttle it a lot in the draft to try to save fuel. But there's always going to be someone pushing you. And as I said again, these bumpers don't line up. So someone pushes you too hard or pushes you the wrong way, you have the slight chance of getting hooked and turned around and wrecked. A lot of these guys don't want that or like the thought of that, so they try to push it just a little bit harder to stay even with one another. And leader obviously just can't save fuel. Gotta stay full throttle the whole time, otherwise stack up the field. So these guys did take one to green, and get back underway here this time by. So these guys lining up double file, ready to go. 16 on the inside, 15 on the outside. Interesting to see what happens here on this restart. Pace car going to make that hard left turn down into pit road. Green flag back in the air here at Daytona. The 28 right on the bumper of the 16. Gotta be careful pushing these guys as we see the 43 getting the wall just a little bit there. Got shoved up there. Now going into turn 1. These guys side by side, outside trying to make something work here. Can they do it? Now coming down the back straightaway, 28 right on the bumper of the 16. The outside not really working too much right now. These guys starting to get back single file again. The 15 and 07 left out to dry back there. So the 15-07 left out to dry. And will they find a place back in line? Possibly they do. 125 almost worked his way in there underneath the 07. So working our way further back through the pack. Last car that is really right up with this pack. Looks like that's a 6. Hard to read the number on that car. So the 6, pretty much the last one in this pack. The caution flag is out. Oh, big wreck with the 23 back here. Let's see what happened. Oh, the 25 kicks it around. Collects the 23. Hard hit. Wow. 25 able to get back in this race. 23 probably not so lucky. Tough break for those guys. Go back up here to your leaders. They have caught the pace car. So be interesting to see what pit stops are going to take place here, if any. Will the 16 cut down into pit road? And he will. Let's take an onboard ride down with the 16 down pit road, see what these pit stops are all about. And a beautiful pit stop there by number 16. 2 tires and go, and beats out the rest of the field. Beautifully performed. Eased it into his pit stall. Great pit stops. Looked like everyone else, not too much trouble on pit road there for anyone else. It was pretty good round of pit stops, I'd say, for everyone, as just about everyone took it in. Looks like maybe a couple guys stayed out here. The 33 looks like he may have stayed out, as well as the 6. So we're going to line it up and try that restart again. We had a small wreck. I wouldn't say it was small. There was a couple hard hits in that wreck, but 2-car wreck towards the back of the pack there. So it did cause some issues here. I believe they're taking the 2 to green as lap cars are being sent to the back of the field. So right now, 33 is your leader. .33 is your leader at the front of this thing right now. Excuse me. And, again, have to see how this restart plays out. Will these guys be able to get up double file to try to race one another, or will they continue to ride, risking the chance of not having another yellow? Because we didn't see a yellow throughout the whole first half of that race. So if these guys get spread out too much, we may not ever see that opportunity come up. But, you know, they say cautions bring cautions, and so far seeming to prove itself right, as we had one caution after another right there. So we should be taking the 1 to green this time by. And we do. Lights on the pace car are out. And these guys will line up double file. So we're past the halfway point of this race now. Will anyone be able to make it happen here on this restart and get that outside line up and moving? The 28 may be able to help if he doesn't try to duck down on the inside. We also have the 07, another one that will try to make the outside work earlier. 33 will be in control of this restart, and he's on the bottom. So I'm sure he doesn't want that outside line working now. Pace car getting ready to turn off into pit road once again. There it goes. And green flag back in the air. Here with the Vintage Racing Group. These restrictor plates take a little while to get up and going. Great restart by the 33, but was it too good? These guys will have a big run on them. And looking to make it 3 wide almost. These guys working. 6-car breakaway up towards the front. These guys working on the bumpers. Now working their way down the back straight away. These guys broke away. These guys behind starting to catch back up now. With them being side by side. The outside line not working. And the 6, I believe it's a 6. It is. It was blinking just a little bit there. These guys may get hung out to dry. Let's see if the 07 goes up. And probably will not. These guys getting left out to dry. Once again, the high side does not prevail. Does not seem to be working. The 43 maybe looking to make a move. Maybe just gathering some air. The 28 ducks back down. 6-car left to dry. That 6-car, Brandon Red, did win the Busch Grand National Series race last night here at Daytona. The season opener for that series. So he's looking to grab another one, or was looking to. He got stuck towards the back of the pack now. Now looking a little bit further back. 28 settled in. Second to last in that pack. 6 car found himself working with the 125. And a little bit further back is the 06 and the 88 working together. And 29 is all by himself back there. Now coming back up to your leaders. 16 pushing hard on the 33. This is sometimes where we see some trouble with guys hooking each other. These bumpers do not line up at all, so it is very risky to try to pull this bump draft here. Looking to maybe make an outside move with the 43 around this 33. 43 looking up. Will anyone follow them if they push to the outside? 16 maybe, if he can get a run, he can push up to the outside and still have enough momentum. 43 looks up. Little bit of help from the 15. 15 looks like he's willing to go with him. And these guys maybe trying to look around the 33, see what's going on. Maybe they're gathering air. Who knows what is going through their heads right now. Now coming across the stripe with just 41 laps to go. 43 again looking to the outside. Maybe trying to get that second line working. Little bit difficult to do in these cars here. $16 hard on the rear bumper of the 33. 43 pulls out of line. 07 pulls up with him. They may get stuck out there. The 28 doesn't go with him, but the 17 goes up with him, a Koulibaly. Can they make anything work on the outside? They're sure trying. Doesn't look good for that outside line. They're not able to work the side draft at all. I think that's the main issue right now, is that they're not able to gather any of that side draft up. And they're not getting close to any of the cars down low, so the high line's just not going to work. As they get back single file, well, not quite yet. They're still going to try to make a run for it. Not looking good for that outside line, though, as they stay single file. These guys are starting to move a little bit more now with just 40 laps to go. Now coming to 39 laps to go. They know that time is starting to get cut short. They're past the halfway. They're working on the 3/4 mark of this race pretty soon, but they still have more pit stops to go. They have at least 2 rounds of pit stops left of this race. They know that there is still at least a little bit of time left for something to happen. Maybe work the pit strategy a little bit. They're not going to push the issue if they don't have to, because they all want to stick around for the end of this race, as the 33 was moved up the line and lead change back to the number 16. 33 able to fall back in line into the 3rd position. 28 coming right up on his bumper. And he's going to shove the 33 back up there. 15, a little bit of wiggle. Will the 33 try to duck underneath? He was thinking about it. He was thinking. Little bit of action happening up front now, as these guys have a breakaway from the rest of the pack. $16 holds the lead right now. Not much these guys are able to do, just sitting here single file. 33 looks to the high side of the 15. Nothing gonna happen right now. These guys stay single file. Well, Almost a 4-car breakaway up front. And this guy's starting to single back in. 15 was right on the bumper of the 16. These guys still not going to push the issue of that bump drafting too much. I don't think. The end of that group able to catch back up once again. Is anyone going to try to push the issue? 33 getting sandwiched in between 2 cars, or almost. That wouldn't have been a fun time. So these guys sorted out, now remaining single file. 33 may have a run coming up here if the 28 can get to the back bumper. Maybe they can try something. Let's see what's going on a little bit further back in the pack. 2 cars right there. The 125 and the 6 still working together. 88, 76, 29, and the 02 all kind of working together right now. These guys trying to work their way around the 88 car. Oh, net code! Huge net code! Oh no! That takes out some of those guys back there. Yellow flag is in the air. For those that don't know what netcode is, it's basically a connection glitch, and does exactly that. Contact where there was no contact supposed to be made. Right there is where you see a huge netcode. The 02 gets taken out, and 29 and 88 all with damage in that. Unbelievable. And so now the yellow flag is out with just 34 laps to go. Unbelievable netcode. There was about 3 feet in between those cars there. Wow. I cannot believe that. See if any of these guys duck down into pit road. I believe pit road is open. And here they come. It's about all your leaders coming down pit road under yellow with 33 laps to go. Who will do what? Weird angle there for the 33. That will not be fun coming out of the pit stall. Little bit of blinking happening for the 28. 16 first, 15 second. 28 beats out a couple other cars for the 3rd position. And see if we can maybe pull Mac down here and talk to him. Let him catch back up to the pace car here first. Let's move him down here. Mac Pratt, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
So you've been up front all race. How's your car feel tonight? How's it handling?
This FND powered Chevy is running real good. trying to save some fuel here. It looks like we're going to be a little bit short.
Well, you've only had a couple of yellows tonight. A lot of long runs. How's the car been on long runs? How's the fuel consumption been? How many laps have you been able to get out of this thing?
We're looking at about say 20 laps on a fuel run. It's been really good on those short and long runs because the pit strategy is about 20 laps. It's about every 40 laps we got to take tires, so it's handling really well.
I notice the outside line just can't seem to get formed. Have you tried to go up and work that outside a little bit? What's going on with that?
I think everyone's just minding their time, hanging onto the car, not using it up too much. I think here after that last pit stop, I think everyone's going to be about 10 laps short. You're probably going to see that high line come to life.
All right. Well, thank you for your time, Mac, and hopefully we can see you on podium.
Yeah, no problem.
Mac Prott, driver number 16. Been up front pretty much all day here, and looks like he has a fast car. These guys are going to have to find some way around him. So, as you heard it, folks, a lot of these guys about 10 laps short on fuel after this pit stop. We'll definitely see some strategy come into play here. As you said, these guys trying to conserve their stuff a little bit, trying not to run 2 and 3 wide just yet. Trying to save their stuff. So these guys going to take the green flag this time around. Again, I would like to apologize to everyone if there are any quiet spots in the broadcast. I am alone in the booth tonight. So it happens after a few times during a period of 100 laps at Daytona, especially when everyone is single file and there's not that much to talk about. Action should sit here and should start to get ramped up just a little bit with just about 30 laps to go. They'll be taking the green with 30 laps to go, and should start to get good here soon. As mentioned, these guys will be about 10 laps short and will have to make another pit stop. These guys getting ready to go after this caution for a huge net code between a couple of drivers. Unbelievable. Pace car pulls off. Green flag back in the air at Daytona. Huge push from the 28 and the 43. 28 getting sandwiched between two cars right now. These three cars trying to push themselves out to the front beyond this pack. 15 kind of gets left out the dry back there. Now working all their way down to the back straightaway. 16 out front. 28 pushing outside line. Again, settles in. Now we kind of know what to expect after the interview from Mac Prott. These guys will have to pit with probably about 10 to go. We got someone blinking back there. I believe that is still the 6 car. So these guys working their way up through right now. Single file. The 07 looking to the outside of the 43, now coming down into the back straightaway once again. 29 laps to go. And now working their way down into turn 3. 43 looking to the outside just a little bit, maybe trying to gather up some air. Maybe trying to see around the car in front of him. I don't know. It is hard to tell what's going through the minds of these drivers at 200 miles an hour. Quick calls being made all around the racetrack here. Check a little bit further back in the pack now. Most of these guys single file. These guys fighting it out a little bit right here. Oh, little bit of contact almost made with the side draft. These guys working the side draft right now. These guys are not holding back. 25 and 33. Oh, 15 comes up. Almost made contact with the 125. Now working their way through the tri-oval. 33 ducks down, leaves the 125 up out to dry. Zach Mecca will have to duck back in behind the 33. Got exciting there for at least a couple of minutes as those guys were working the side draft. Now single file, and the 15 car pulls back up. This is a race for about mid-pack right now. And it's going to be no help with the 15 car. The 125... gonna duck down below him here, most likely, if he can get there. Actually starting to fall off a little bit is the 125. And Mecca falls back. 15 able to drop back in. 33 now pulls to the outside. And he'll be left out to dry as the 6 blinks out once again. So these guys working on each other back here. So leaders are still single file up there, it looks like. 6 still blinking. 15 coming really close to making contact with some of these guys. These guys are actually starting to get double file up there. Up ahead. Sorry about that, folks. Had to restart my overlays. So these guys were starting to get a little bit racy up there. These guys back single file now. Once again, though. Just awaiting the last set of green flag pit stops to happen. Possibly some strategy going to be played here, or I know there will be some strategy that's going to be played here. I almost guarantee that no one is going to take 4 tires. As the 03, very slow there. I almost guarantee that no one is going to take 4 tires. It is either going to be 2 tires or fuel only on these pit stops coming up in about 13 laps or so. 28 of Witherspoon has been hard on the rear bumpers of some of these guys. He obviously knows what he's doing, though. He hasn't wrecked anyone. I haven't seen anyone get loose from it. very stable on the back of these guys' bumpers, not twitching the car or anything. I think that's helping. So, this guy's just trying to get settled in, I think. Why don't we, take a, as these guys start to get double file, just a little bit, let's take an in-car ride of the number 28 of Joshua Witherspoon. See, full throttle all the way around here as he is just starting to pull up to the rear bumper of the 16. Take a ride on the nose here. Front bumper cam. See the pure speed going by on the asphalt underneath these guys. We'll get a little bit of a bump here, maybe. Not quite. So these guys working it out here. Still single file, a little bit squirrely. Coming through the tri-oval. These cars get super light through the tri-oval there at just about 200 miles an hour. 43, trying to make that outside work again. 7, they've got to work that side draft, and the 07 has to be on his back bumper. 17 to Koulibaly ducks back down behind the 28. Just kind of laying back there, it seems. These guys go around some slower traffic. A little bit squirrely from that 07 up there. Little bit of bob and weave going on. Just 19 laps to go. A lot of slower traffic these guys are going around. I think just about clear for the most part now. These guys working the side draft a little bit. 43 doesn't have much help up there, though. The 07's got to get on his rear bumper, otherwise it's not going to work. So the guys that you've seen all up front pretty much all day are up front right now. And this guy's 43 really wants to make something work on the outside. He's not satisfied sitting there in third right now. We know these guys are going to have to put in another pit stop, because they can only make about 18 to 20 laps of fuel. And with 18 laps to go right now, they pitted a few laps ago. So they're definitely going to have to pit one more time. And we're expecting with about 10 to go that these guys are going to pit. So these guys stay single file. Top 5. Let's take a look at your top 5 right now. Mac Pratt, Josh Witherspoon, Chris Shaw, Johnson, and Koulibaly. All up there in that lead pack. Your race summary so far. Right now your leader is Mac Pratt. 84 laps now complete. 6 lead changes and caution laps for some reason is not showing. Interesting. So guys continue to roll single file. They know that there's still time left to play a little bit of strategy. 43 looked anxious to get something done on the high side, however. For all we know, it's just out of pure boredom. I mean, these guys have been sitting here riding single file, you know, all day. Or all night so far, and, you know, pretty much no action for these guys up front. So, I'm sure a lot of these guys are starting to get anxious. This takes a lot of discipline for these guys to be sitting here running like this so far, as they start to pass some more slower traffic. So now at about 14 laps to go, they're in their pit window, I believe, at the moment. They could go in whenever. These guys, I'm sure, are communicating with each other right now, so they can go in as a pack. No one wants to get left out. 16 starting to blink just a little bit. Looks like it settled out. So no one wants to get left out alone. That'll pretty much ruin their chances of winning this thing, if that were to happen. So now coming with 13 laps to go, we're expecting around 10 to go. Look for the leader to start to pull down onto the apron with around 10 to go. These guys look like short pitted just a little bit coming out of pit road, hoping to make something out of that. '16, I believe, has led the most laps today. Witherspoon in the 28 car has been riding around in second pretty much all day today. He's held that consistent pace. As these guys now come to pit road, they've got to make it. Looks like almost all of them, if not all of them, will get slowed down on time. So let's take a look at your leader. Now coming out of pit road, it looked like they all took 4 tires. Probably plans. Witherspoon will come out as your leader, it looks like. Now it's just a question of when these other guys will pit. We know that, or we're almost sure that these guys will still come out on top because of the lead that they had over everyone else. But it depends on the pit strategy of the other guys. If the other guys take fuel only, these guys could wind up in a battle. So Witherspoon's got to find someone to draft with. He's got, looks like he's got the 16 a prop behind him. I believe that's the 16. Yes, it is. 16 a prop coming up on him. They're going to work together now. They are P1 and 2 at the moment. Let's look further back in the pack, see if anyone else is going to come in here soon or planning to come in. A few guys working their way through the tri-oval now. See if these guys will come in. No. Looks like everyone pretty satisfied right now. And your leaders not working together, but they are side by side. And the 16 prevails and pulls ahead. Little help from a slower vehicle. So Shaw is about 3 seconds behind these guys. And Very interesting the way that those green flag pit stops paid out. Or played out, excuse me. So now with 10 laps to go, we know that your leaders, that whole lead pack should be able to make it on fuel from here, or can make it on fuel from here. Will there be another caution before the end of this thing is over? Which is 9 laps to go now. This guy's sitting here running 1 and 2. Let's look further back through the field. Shaw back here all alone. That's not good. Scott Johnson 07, James Coulibaly back here in the 17. They've got help. They may end up passing Shaw. 15 and 33 back here working together. 125 and 76 teammates working together back here. 29 and 44 working. 70 all alone with damage, slower vehicle. We circle back to the 15 and the 33. So 28 looks like he's pretty happy pushing the 16 right now. Let's see what the end of this race comes down to. They've got a pretty hefty lead right now. I think right now it all depends on if a yellow flag were to come out or not. So these guys just riding right now. Not a lot of action right now. That was just 6 laps to go. Everyone very spread out along the racetrack. Coming up in a slower car, there's 25. He will duck down onto the apron. Witherspoon hoping to get a little bit of draft off him, it looked like. Now these guys have over an 8-second lead on third place. Third place would be the 07 of Scott Johnson. When will the move be made? I am assuming not until at least 2 laps to go. But with them just being 2 cars, they could wait till the final lap if they wanted to. They're hanging in there by themselves right now. Very interesting the way that the end of this race is playing out so far. Again, folks, I am sorry for any stuttering that's going on. We had a storm that just passed through here not too long ago, so that's probably the culprit. I am noticing on the stream some stuttering every once in a while. Actually, it looks like it's gotten pretty bad now. So I do apologize, folks. I really do. So these guys now 2 wide. Witherspoon trying to make something work. That's allowing 07 of Johnson to catch up pretty quickly. He must have help back there. Let's take a look. He does. These guys in a freight train right now. Still 7 seconds back. Now just about, yeah, just over 6 seconds back now. Those guys up front can't mess around. 3 laps to go. If anything were to happen to them, these guys would be right there. So they're still 2 wide right now for the lead at Daytona. Not much either one of these guys can do. No help for either one of them. All depends on this side draft. And whether or not the one of them can get a run over the other. Third place, now just 5 seconds back. Gaining quick. All it takes is one mistake by these guys, and the whole second pack will be there in an instant. '28 pulls out once again. White flag is in the air here at Daytona in the Vintage Racing Group. Leaders are side by side, hoping to get the advantage with the side draft. Coming down the back straight away, they are dead even going into turn number 3. Now through turn number 3, going into turn number 4. Still dead even. 16 with a little bit of advantage. Now coming off of turn 4. Who will get there at the line? Working the side draft. 16 comes up. Gets the side draft with the advantage. Side by side at the line. 16 of Mac Pro will get the win at Daytona. Joshua Witherspoon will be second. And it looks like Scott Johnson will end up third. Mac Pro with your race win here tonight. Here at Daytona, the inaugural race here for the Vintage Racing Group in this series. Awesome job by all these drivers, keeping it calm, cool, and collective. Not too many incidents tonight. Not too much racing going on throughout the track. Just trying to make it to the end. Mac Brott is still out there running laps a little bit. So, trying to find these guys, see if we can interview them. Scott Johnson, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you walk away with a podium finish here, third place. How do your race car feel out there tonight?
I felt pretty good. I think we would have had something for him if we hadn't taken tires there in the last pit stop. They got us on pit strategy.
Seemed like a very tame race. I saw you try to make the outside work just a couple of times there. What was going on?
Yeah, the outside lines had a hard time coming in lately, it feels like. So we try to get up there, and then we'd have some lap cars that would get up too high. So we just kind of pull it down to be safe, and then we'd lose our run. So Then the pit strategy was coming into play, so I figured we might as well pit in 2 laps and not risk anything and see if things shake out, which unfortunately it didn't.
Well, you still end up walking away with a podium finish. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to or thank tonight?
Yeah, I'd like to thank particularly James in the 17 car. We worked pretty good together today. Also like to thank the Side of Bar and Grill for sponsoring the team and helping us run.
All right, awesome, and congratulations on your podium finish.
All right, thanks, man.
Josh Witherspoon, you got a copy.
How you doing, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good up here in the booth. You walk away with a second place finish. How'd your car feel out there tonight?
I didn't catch that last part. I'm sorry.
You walk away here with a second place finish. How'd your car feel out there tonight?
Yeah, she was pretty stout. I was pretty happy. Got a pretty good feel for it last week during the clash, and so I was pretty happy coming in. Grabbed the pole tonight, so I knew she was gonna be pretty good.
Did you think that there was anything else you could have done to grab the win out here tonight?
No, he got around me there with drafting off that lap car, and then coming to the finish with a lap car in front of us, and he was in his lane, and he just had that draft tail pattern. Nothing I can do. The draft package on these cup cars isn't the best. So you can't really race side by side. As you saw most of the race, it was as soon as someone go outside, they pretty much fall like a rock. The 43 it was pretty stout out there, but once he got left out, it was over.
We saw a lot of things with pit strategy going on there. Was there a lot of communication with the drivers throughout the pack?
Yeah, actually, but I knew I can make 20 laps from past experience on the half a tank of gas. So if the caution never came out, I knew it was going to be a 4-stop strategy, and everybody was short pitting, which kind of made me scratch my head. But I was kind of surprised I came out so far ahead those few times.
All right, well, you sure made it work out there tonight. Is there anyone that you'd like to thank?
Nah, well, thanks for broadcasting. That's pretty cool. Thanks for the league for having this. It seems pretty fun. I'm really excited for Rockingham next week. It's one of my favorite tracks. So hopefully I'll pull away with something there. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we'll see you next week, and congratulations on your second place finish.
Thank you.
Well, Mac Prott, you got a copy.
Yes, I do.
Well, we talked to you earlier in the race, and you ended up getting the win on this thing. How'd everything feel towards the end there?
The car felt great. I think what really came down to there at the end, I think it was the 28 was out there on my outside. I think what came down to the end was aerodynamics and who had that splitter closer to the ground.
We saw a lot of guys trying to make that outside line work towards the end. Ended up backfiring, especially when the pit strategies came into play. We heard that there was a lot of communication between you drivers throughout the pack. Did any of your strategies change throughout this race due to the communication?
No. Well, there at the last one, I was kind of anticipating when I was going to pit, because it could have easily been left out there to dry. The cars all behind me could have gone in, and I would have been left out to dry. Thankfully, they said when they were going to pit, and I was able to anticipate it and get in there with them and get a good run off pit road.
All right, well, coming off a win at Daytona now, going into Rockingham, what's your plan for that?
Survive. Rockingham, I struggle there. It's very bumpy. It's going to be a lot of suspension work. We're going to be working on that for the next week.
All right, well, awesome job tonight. Is there anyone that you'd like to give a shout-out to?
I got to thank Tim Pratt. He was also in that race. He worked with me for a long time. It was a shame he fell off that lead draft there on that last restart, but he pushed me for a long time, and we got it up there.
Awesome job, and congratulations on your victory tonight.
Thank you.
Well, folks, let's run down your results real quick here. So, walking away with the win was number 16, Mac Prott. Finishing second was Joshua Witherspoon. Third was Scott Johnson. Fourth was James Coulibaly. Fifth was Chris Shaw. Sixth was Timothy Pratt. Seventh, Zach Mecca. Eighth, Stephen Miserly. Sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong there, Stephen. Ninth was Zachary Weaver. 10th was Verlis Falcons. 11th was Jason Burgess. 12th, Colin Borgstadt. 13th, Kyle Aman. 14th, Brandon Red. 15th, David Darrell. 16th, Mark Goldstein. 17th, Ryan Nichols. 18th, Tom Jenks. 19th, Eric Revere. And 20th, Tyler Barnes. 21st was Kevin Madison. 22nd, Ryan Hatherhill. 23rd was Bob Martins. And 24th was the Zero who never started the race. Well, ladies and gentlemen, from Prime Time Racing TV, my name is Brandon Kreutz, up in the booth alone tonight. Once again, I'd like to apologize for any stuttering or anything that was going on there. We had a storm roll through not too long ago. It was probably the culprit of everything. We'll see everyone next week, heading over to Rockingham with the Vintage Racing Group Premier Series from Daytona International Raceway on Prime Time Racing TV. Live, I'm Brandon Kreutz, and we will see all of you next week.